country you're from. Let's talk this over with CNN.com contributor and the host of the Dean Obeidallah Show on SiriusXM, Dean Obeidallah. So, Dean, you say Trump's stance on immigration is proof he doesn't believe in the American dream. And I know this is something that is really personal for you and your family. Tell us about why.
Sure. I mean, my dad was born in 1929 in what was then Palestine, before the existence of the State of Israel, and what is now the West Bank. He moved then to Jordan later, worked as a cook in the U.S. Embassy. Even though he lacked a formal education, he had basic English, he was low-skilled, he knew he wanted to come to the United States of America, and he was lucky enough that working as a cook in the U.S. Embassy, they sponsored him, and he came to northern Jersey, and from there, later he brought his brother here, and then another brother. To me, that's the American story. It's not chain migration.
Seeing your family here.
Yeah, that's me when I was little. Yeah. That's of course me when I was very small. And my dad holding me, and that's his brother who he brought to this country. The American story is you come here, you get settled, things are working out, and you want to share this experience, this amazing place, this exceptional place with your family so they have a better opportunity, so they can live in a place free of war, free of strife. My father was living in the Middle East in a war zone, essentially. So this is, and my father's story is not exceptional. It is the typical American story. That's why, for me, Trump, it's not just the American dream. He doesn't get the American story.
When you look at the president's immigration priorities, right, in terms of laying out this plan, he says immigration shouldn't necessarily have to be about family ties. He wants to prioritize people who have the skills that America may be lacking, or the jobs that we need to have filled and have those skills. He wants it to be merit-based. What's wrong with that? You
could have skilled and unskilled. Our employers need both. We're at a 17-year low for unemployment right now. He wants the economy to grow. Not having enough of a workforce will slow down economic growth. And I'm not an economist. That's what economists are saying. To me, my dad was unskilled. He would not have been allowed in this country. I wouldn't be here. My cousins wouldn't be here. And they've gone on to become doctors and lawyers, engineers, small business owners. That is the American story. And Donald Trump's trying to end the next chapter in the American story. This is a radical departure from what we have right now. And it's weird. You know, Donald Trump said, at least reportedly, he wanted more people from Norway. Why would you want strangers coming to this country as opposed to people who have a family connection, who have a brother here or a sister in this country? That makes it easier to assimilate, to be a part of this culture, as opposed to someone who might be skilled and just throw them in America. I think it makes much more sense this way.
You know, it's interesting because the president and some of his own extended family members came to the U.S. and settled here through this family reunification process. His mother came to the U.S. from Scotland to join a sister who was already living in the U.S. But I want to turn to a different topic because I want to get your take on some comments the president made just this week, as we have sat here and talked previously about some of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that he's done, some of the actions that he's taken that have offended you personally and other Muslims. He was asked by Piers Morgan about retweeting those inflammatory videos from the UK far-right group, and here's what he said.
Can I get an apology out of you just for the retweets?
Well, if you're telling me,
I think it would go a long way.
Then here's what's fair. If you're telling me there's a horrible people, horrible racist people, horrible, I would certainly apologize if you'd like me to do that. I know nothing about them.
And you would disavow yourself of people like that?
I don't want to be involved with people, but you're telling me about these people because I know nothing about these people.
So, Dean, I mean, this is a president who doesn't usually apologize, and he was saying there he would apologize.
Well,
how does that make you feel?
I think that the American Muslim community would be willing to listen if he would come to mosques and talk to us, apologize not just for that, but for saying Islam hates us, for trying to ban us from this country simply because of our faith, from demonizing and lying, that we are hiding terrorists in our midst. He would apologize for all of that. In fact, I would recommend for President Trump to go to every community he's demonized in this when he was running for office, in the second year for a fresh start. Go to transgender Americans, apologize for trying to ban them from the military. Go to Latinos, immigrants, apologize to them. Apologize to women during the Me Too movement that he called women liars for coming out forward as victims. Apologize to all of us and start your second year over. Here's a great chance for a reset.
Did you see any progress in what you heard from him in terms of maybe reaching that hand out or that olive branch?
He apologized to Piers Morgan, which is nice. Piers Morgan, I'm glad Piers Morgan raised that point. Donald Trump has retweeted numerous white supremacists during the campaign and even after Charlottesville, retweeting an alt-right person. He has never apologized to the communities. He continues to double down and demonize. Even the comments with Jay-Z just smell of dog whistle racism once again. If President Trump could have any reset in his second term, it would be go to the communities you've attacked, go beyond your base, say hello to them, talk to them, apologize to them publicly. I made a mistake. Let's hear that here on U.S. soil, not far off. And maybe then he can build some bridges in our community. But this chain migration stuff, it just smacks again of racist dog whistle to me and many others in our community.
Dean Obeidallah, thank you for sharing your family story. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And coming up, the president and the porn star. What do female Trump voters think of the latest scandal to hit the White House?
Do you care if your president had an affair before he